What's going on, guys? Aaron with Lansing Lawn Service. Today we're doing another driveway, and right off the bat I've got to empty some mud puddles. So I have this nice little handy dandy pump here. I just plug it into the truck, and I've got a hose that's just running out into the yard. Yeah, it's sucking out all the water. So that's going to run for a bit yet. So let's take a look at the driveway, see what we got to do, and we'll jump right into it. Alright guys, so first of all, the big problem areas are these two really big mud puddles. So we've got those going on. We've got to get those emptied before we can do that part of the driveway. And then down here, we've got a bunch of other stuff. So let me turn you around and I'll show you that. Okay, so this is crushed asphalt mixed in with some gravel and some stone. So down this way, we've actually got little teeny tiny potholes here. They get a little bit bigger as we walk out to the road here, but it's all pretty straightforward. There isn't a really good crown on this, so we've got to make the crown. We've got some deeper potholes here. So we got a lot of rain last night, and so we've also got some washout starting here. So got some washout here. We'll fix all this. We'll get it all squared away. And right now it's just emptying those mud puddles. But I kind of got to keep an eye on the pump because I don't want it to run dry while I'm working on the Ventrac. So kind of got to keep an eye on that. Shouldn't take too long to empty those. And then we'll get to work. And here we go, another driveway repair. Guys, make sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to have some before and after pictures at the end. Those are going to show the amazing transformation of this driveway. It's going to show all the repairs and the fixes that I did. So make sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video. You're not going to want to miss those. Alright guys, so I am starting off here by lowering my power rake and back dragging from that cement. You can't get too close to the cement because the teeth will chip that cement, and that is something you do not want to do. You don't want to destroy their nice cement pad, so you got to kind of stay away from there. What I did to kind of revamp that a little bit is that I pushed some stuff forward because it was lower by the cement there, so I just filled that gap in and brought the aggregate or the crushed asphalt up to the level of that cement pad there. So it really worked out great. Now the biggest problem by far on this driveway was the two really big mud puddles here. You already saw that I had to drain them. I have a little 10 horsepower pump that I plug into my truck. I pump that water all out of there into the yard or somewhere so that I don't have to deal with all that water pushing that all around. I've done that before. It just doesn't work too great. So what you see here is that I didn't have my power rake low enough because I didn't get to the bottom of those potholes. As you can see, you can still see the water there. So I didn't break up the structure of those potholes. And if you don't break up the structure, they're just going to stay there, and they're just going to reform. I could fill those in with new aggregate, and they would just, over time, in about 3 months' time, they would be right back to where they are now, because it's got that bowl-like structure, and it just wants to empty that out and go back to that. So if you dump new aggregate in there, it's just going to eventually kick that out. Your vehicles are going to kick that out because it's already got that packed structure, bowl structure around there, and it's gonna have the same problem it had before. So you have to break up that structure so that those potholes don't come back in that same spot. You might get new potholes. It just depends. Obviously, with gravel or with crushed asphalt, you're always going to have to deal with potholes, just like you have to deal with potholes on paved roads. It just happens when vehicles drive over it. It's just the way it happens. you might have a guest over, and for some reason they spin out, and that starts a pothole, and it starts packing in that little spin out spot, and you're starting to make that pothole, and over time it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so you have to break up that structure so that it doesn't reform and continue to pack in there. Guys, just look at how beautiful this stuff is. This crushed asphalt, I've never done it before. I've never worked up a crushed asphalt driveway. I've been told by other people that it works, that the Ventrac works great on it, but I've never tried it for myself, and I'm seeing right now it's awesome. I love doing the crushed asphalt because it's just so beautiful, and it just looks like velvet when you're done, and you're going to see that in the before and after pictures. It's awesome. I love it. I love doing these crushed asphalt driveways now. Now you will see a little bit lighter brown spot right there at the bottom of your screen. I went down, I had to go down deep to get to the bottom of those potholes, and that brought up some gravel. So there is gravel mixing into this crushed asphalt, and that's just the way it's going to be, because you have to break up the structure of that pothole. You don't have a choice. You can either fill it in and that pothole will come back and get worse, or you can break it up, mix some of that gravel in, and get it fixed and then start new. And so that's what we did. These folks really did not need any new aggregate on this driveway at all. And what I've found is most driveways that I do don't need new aggregate. It just needs to be reworked. The potholes need to be fixed, and it needs to be smoothed out. The crown needs to be fixed. A lot of these, the crown isn't great, so I give it a little bit better crown, a little bit more defined crown, and that really helps to shed the water off of the sides, and that's what you want. You don't want water sitting in the middle of your driveway, especially where you drive, because you're just going to pound holes into your driveway with your tires. So eventually, if your crown isn't good, you're going to have potholes. And that's actually one of the reasons why you get potholes, is that your crown on your driveway is not sufficient. And so whenever I do a driveway, I always push that aggregate to the center. And I kind of mound it in the center, and then as the last step that I do, when I smooth out the driveway and get it looking really nice, that's when I smooth it all out, and you can really see that crown once it's all done just by pushing the aggregate constantly towards the center. Now here I'm working up, trying to get the structure of that pothole dug up, and with this pass, I believe, if I remember right, I did get that structure all dug up. Yeah, you can see there the water's all gone. You can tell that it's that structure is now broken up, but I continue to go over it. This part of the video is kind of the laborious part of the video, because I have to break up the structure. I want to get this stuff mixed up, and so it just takes time. It takes time to get that all broken up and reworked. And so this part of the driveway I spent a lot of time on, and you're seeing that here in the video. I try not to speed up my videos too much. So right now this is actual speed. So I try not to speed up the videos, because I want you to see and get a feel for how much time it takes to repair a driveway. Now, of course, I am doing some cuts and cutting some things out. You just have to do that. This would be a 2-hour video if I didn't cut some things out. So you do have to do that, but you're getting a good sense of the work that it takes and the time that it takes to do these driveways. Now, this driveway I'm doing in sections. Normally, I would not do a driveway in sections, but because I'm filming and because I want to show you what I'm doing the driveway in sections. By far, I would rather go all the way down and all the way back, because what I can do is I can push a lot of aggregate that way. So if I need to fill in some low spots, as I'm going, I can push aggregate into that area, fill that in, and then it just saves some time. But for filming for you guys, I just take the sacrifice and do the driveway in sections. It does make it a little bit more work because I'm lifting and lowering the power rake a lot, which creates like mounds of dirt when you do that. So those all have to be smoothed out. So it takes a little bit extra time to work the driveway because of that, but it's not terrible. So it just is what it is. I want to be able to show this to you guys. So what you can see here is what I just did here is I just pushed a bunch of aggregate to a low spot there. And now I'm turning around and I'm lowering that power rake, so I'm still working and just keeping that working going as much as I can. And so it is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to come back in when I start filling some of those pothole areas, and I can explain and show you what I'm doing there. Okay guys, so here I am starting to fill in those low areas of the driveway. So those potholes were big, and so what I'm doing is I'm taking some from a high spot here in the driveway and moving it up to those low spots. And obviously, because there was potholes here, we know that the crown was not great on this part of the driveway. So I am moving quite a bit of aggregate up here, and the power rake does a really good job of moving this stuff. However, if you want to move a lot of aggregate, the power rake has two wings on both sides. If you want to move a lot, go backwards, put those wings down, and man, you get a whole lot of aggregate that machine will pull, and you can fill low spots really fast. This, I didn't need a ton of aggregate, so I just decided to go forward and not mess with the wings, but I filled them in great. Now, here what I'm doing is I'm smoothing out now those high spots now that I made. So moving that aggregate in, I made high spots. So I'm smoothing that out, filling in all those low spots, and this is what the power rake and the Ventrac are amazing at. They do this combination does a great job of smoothing out the driveway, smoothing out those high spots, and just making it a clean, smooth, no bumps driveway. It's fantastic. The Ventrac is by far the best tool to redo or repair a driveway because it just smooths out those areas so well, and it just fills it all in. It's like melted butter when the Ventrac goes over it, because it just fills in all those spots. It's amazing. The Ventrac with the power rake is an amazing tool. And as you can see, I always have the power rake tilted in. So it's always tilted in, always pushing that aggregate towards the middle. Once I get to the middle, then I have a choice. I can go back to the edge on the side that I'm working on and continue pushing it in, or I can go like I did here to the other side and push it into the center. Now you will, I don't know if this video shows it or not, but there was a low spot on the right edge there. And so what I did is I tilted the power rake towards that side to fill in that low spot. And again, if you have low spots on the edges of your driveway, the Ventrac is awesome for filling those in, because it just directs the aggregate right towards that low spot, and then you can go over it and smooth it out. It's just perfect. As you guys can see, it's just looking fantastic from what it looked like before. Alright, and now we're starting on the long part of the driveway. So this part is, I don't know, maybe 100 yards to the road. So again, I'm doing it in sections. This part of the driveway was not bad at all, but what I did is I worked it up, and I went over this part of the driveway twice. So the first initial time was to break up the surface and get that all just broken up, and then I move over a little bit, I take out that center and work up more, and then I do it all over again. I do it twice just to make sure that I get that crown where I want it to be and where it needs to be. And now we're going to a part of the driveway that does have a few potholes, and we're gonna fix those. There wasn't any too much work at all. You just take that power rake and you just adjust it down a little bit, dig that pothole out, break up that structure, and then you can just run over it and smooth it again. It's fantastic. I just love, I can't say enough about the Ventrac with the power rake. It is probably by far, well, I know by far, it is my favorite tool that the Ventrac has that it goes with. It's just the best tool. I love repairing driveways. It is one of the funnest things that I do in my business, and it's just, the power rake and the Ventrac make the work so simple and so easy and effortless that it's just wonderful. And it's a pleasure to use the Ventrac with the power rake to work up these driveways and make them like new again. Right there, I'm going over a pothole, and it does fill it in, but I did go down deeper there. In fact, I think, if I remember right, I'm going to adjust the power rake. Maybe not. Yeah. Yep, I did adjust it a little bit. I was down really deep to get down to the bottom of that pothole, and then I don't know if you could see it or not, but I brought the drum up a little bit because it didn't need to be down that deep for the rest of the driveway, and I didn't want to dig up. I didn't want to add and dig up their gravel underneath the crushed asphalt unless I absolutely had to. So I didn't go down super deep where I didn't have to. So that's just one of the things that you can do with the power rake that is so easy. You can just adjust that drum up and it's flawless. It just works so well. And you don't quite get that same finesse with a box blade. Watching YouTube videos of driveway repair using a box blade is how I learned how to repair driveways. And I learned a lot from Diggin' Life. He's got some numbers at the end of it, but Diggin' Life on YouTube, he does driveway repairs. I learned so much from watching his videos, and I took those things that I learned from his videos and applied them to the power rake with the Ventrac. And I'm telling you what, that guy over there, Diggin' Life, he has helped me make so much money just because of the information that he put out online for how to repair driveways. I'm so grateful to him. I don't know who he is, but I have learned so much on how to do driveway repairs and do them properly by watching his videos, and I'm so grateful. All right, we are coming to the end of the repair phase of the driveway, so the repairing is going to end here soon, and I'm going to walk you through what I did on the video, probably reiterating some of what I already said here, but I want to let you know that once the repair is done, I did go over the whole driveway and smooth it all out. I don't normally show that part on camera because I have to do the whole driveway in large swaths, and I can't show that very well on camera, so and it's just kind of boring. So the repair is what everyone really wants to see, and then the actual end product where it's all smoothed down. Also, I don't show me packing the driveway. So what I do is I just drive over the driveway with the Ventrac and just pack it down as much as I can with the tires. So those are some things that you won't see on this video, but I do those things off camera because it's just some boring stuff that you wouldn't want to watch. But I do pack the driveway as best as I can with the Ventrac, and I smooth it all out so it's really smooth and nice, and you'll see that coming up here in a little bit. Guys, that is it. This driveway is done. Let me turn you around here and I'll show it to you. All right, guys, so right here there was a washout. We got that all fixed and dug up really nice. And then there was some potholes here, but all the potholes are gone. Really looks nice. I've never done a crushed asphalt driveway before, and it's really nice. This is going to pack really good, and it's just going to turn out really nice. So the biggest problem was the puddles up here. The two puddles where those were are completely gone. You wouldn't even know that they were there. So I put a nice crown on it here because there really wasn't any. It was sunk down in, so I crowned it really nice and just made it look good. So that is it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching.